And to make money, she's like a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know the type.
And then you can't make money in bodybuilding, female bodybuilding,
Of course.
not appreciable amounts. And so she started like wrestling, but she'd wrestle like random guys like in the hotel rooms and shit. People who like to be wrestled.
Okay, yeah.
And started making like these movies that were basically like movies where you would just like she just wrestle people, but there'd be sort of a plot like, the lemon thief broke into my house and now I'm wrestling him. And there's one point at which she's like choking a guy out with her thighs, and Shannon's like, "Oh, Tony would love
That's
this."
it. Yeah, what is the name of this, Dan? Let me just Google this up real quick.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
And I'm Tony.
I was walking around today with the dog, and I was like practicing new intros.
Oh, wait, out loud on the street? Please tell me you're doing it out loud on the street.
Nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember actually in my brain.
Well, that's not great, Dan.
I don't think I was walking around. Welcome. No, I was doing it in my head.
Okay, got it. And that's what you came up with?
No, I still haven't come up with a better one. That's the point.
Okay. It sounded very similar. I was like, you just said welcome. I don't know. That took you that long to figure out?
Yeah. So on this show, we talk about movies. More importantly, we talk about movies that no one saw for the most part, but which they spent lots of money on.
Yeah.
That's what we try and shoot for.
That's our bread and butter. Sometimes we stray.
And so Tony had the brilliant idea to try to track down a Thanksgiving movie, something like, like a Christmas Story where everyone comes together on Thanksgiving and puts the old VHS in the DVR and they sit down and they watch something and they feel good about themselves.
And I found it. I did it. I win the game. Thanksgiving is saved, everybody.
In 20 years, TBS, they're just going to play this movie on a loop.
I don't think so. Let me just say that. I don't think that's going to happen. The movie that we're doing, by the way, is, of course, Freebirds, the brilliant, very clever movie about turkeys going back in time to stop Thanksgiving or something.
That's the movie. It's called Freebirds, 2013, hour and 31 minutes. Thank you. Still a hard movie to get through.
Oh, yeah, brutal. It was very difficult. I was very bored for all of it, pretty much.
I think I clocked one laugh during the movie.
Oh, God, I think I did too. I think I did. I'll try to find it.
Let's see if Dan and Tony laughed at the same joke, or if they each found an individual joke that they enjoyed. So yeah, this movie made by Relativity, Real FX. Do you know anything about the director of this movie?
No, did somebody direct it? I mean, that's news to me.
Someone directed it. Someone whose movies have appeared on our show before.
I wish I would have known that before. I would have set it up that way. No, who is it?
The director of Jonah Hex.
Which one came first? It's got to be Jonah Hex, right?
Jonah Hex. Because when you look at the Wikipedia page of these people, the director and the writers, it's like
Oh, it's brutal. It's tough. But in Hollywood's defense, I'm not hiring them. No. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. If somebody was like, "I'll give you $100,000 to make a movie," and where am I going to get somebody cheap? I'll hire someone off the street that I've never met before I hire this guy.
Do you have any initial thoughts about Freebirds before we jump right into it?
I have two initial thoughts.
Yeah.
One of them, the love interest, smoking hot in this movie.
The bird?
Number two, yeah, the bird.
Oh,
very
really?
attractive bird. Yeah, I was totally into it. And number two, I don't understand the movie. I don't understand. Let me rephrase. I don't understand. Well, I don't understand the movie. I don't understand the plot. I don't understand the plan, and I don't understand the end of the movie. I just don't. I don't get it. And we'll talk about it, but I just want you to know ahead of time, I have a lot of questions.
I have a lot of questions about you finding a female turkey very attractive.
That's one of the only notes that I wrote.
I'm going to ask you a question because the turkeys in this movie, most of them have red heads, and then him and the other turkey have a purple head. I don't know a lot about turkeys. I didn't do my turkey research.
I did not care enough.
I thought all
I
turkeys
had the
looked
same question, though.
pretty much exactly the same.
I think you're right. I'm just gonna say I think you're right. I don't know, and I thought it was weird too, and I thought it would. I had this inkling that it was gonna matter. I thought it was gonna matter, and then it didn't matter, so that made me even more confused. Because why is his head different? If it doesn't matter to your story or like his lineage or anything, why does any of this matter?
Well, so we wouldn't get him lost in a crowd, probably, because if he's standing in a crowd, you're just like, he's not wearing a funny hat. I don't know who he is.
That's true.
If you put a hat on him, it would have been a better movie.
Just a hat. That's all he needs. Just give the turkey a hat, guys.
Just zhuzh it up a bit with a hat.
Give a little je ne sais quoi. Let me ask you a question, Dan.
Okay.
And maybe you don't remember this part, but
the movie?
The turkey, good-looking turkey. But when the daughter is introducing the turkey to people around, and she's in her dad's office, the president, and she introduces
the president. What are we talking about? Are we talking about the turkey movie?
Yeah, the turkey movie. Did you not? There's a president in the movie.
You mean the chief of the tribe of turkeys?
No, the president of the United States.
The American president. Oh, at the beginning.
The American president. Maybe I should have just done this in order because it would make more sense.
Yeah.
But she's introducing people around, I assume, the White House to the turkey. And she was
the little stupid girl.
The stupid girl. Yeah. And she goes, "This is the girl that likes my dad."
Yeah.
Which is like she's the hottest cartoon I've ever seen. She's hotter than Jessica Rabbit. I'm calling it right now. Maybe I'll have to pull up a still shot of it.
The little 6-year-old girl?
No, Dan. Who I assume is an intern in the White House. I don't know positions, but it's a quick moment where she's like, "And this is the girl that likes my dad." And then it's like, "Oh, she was smoking hot." That's all I wanted to say. I was going to see if you thought so too, but you don't even remember her.
I remember her being attractive, but I didn't freeze frame and screenshot it and be like,
we did not have the same night then, Dan.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about the movie. We're not going to talk about Tony's.
I don't want to talk about the movie. This movie sucked. Let's do it. Let's go.
This movie, did it suck more than Jonah Hex or less than Jonah Hex?
Well, first of all, Megan Fox is in Jonah Hex, so it couldn't have been that much worse. My thing about this movie is I don't think it didn't make me as angry, but it's so dull. It's so dull and stupid. It doesn't make any sense, and I just don't care. I didn't even care enough to get mad about it, and that's a problem.
I think something really true. I wasn't angry at this movie. I just thought this movie showed so many things about what is wrong with children's filmmaking and how people just get it wrong. Just like everything about this movie is just wrong.
100%.
Not necessarily in an offensive way, just in like
how can we make
a thing that we can be assured no one will care about?
Yeah.
Every mistake that make you not care about this movie makes in spades.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, let's kick it off. Here we go.
What do we kick it off with? With a voiceover.
Of course we are.
Joke number 1. This movie is not historically accurate, except the talking turkeys.
And they don't talk. So here's why I'm confused.
They don't talk?
They communicate to each other.
And they understand English.
Talk.
He understands English perfectly.
But he can't talk English.
That's
true. How I would say that?
Speak English, but he no talk English. Oh,
So
stop,
that's
Tony.
I got confused because they're not talking. They're gobbling the
It's
whole
funny.
time.
There is one point at which they finally reinforced that about 2.5 hours into the movie, where they have him
Yeah.
standing there and he goes, oh, and like he's
And
trying
it's like,
to
oh,
communicate.
so
with
they're
him.
not talking this entire time. So I was lied to in the first second of the movie.
Yes. So now we
Bullshit.
have some slides and a voiceover talking about Holiday, and then now holidays are ordered around food, and
Sure.
then unless you're the meal.
Now, before maybe this won't be a short one, Dan. So here's my problem with this intro right now. He's talking about holidays, and he says the whole world loves them. That's why there's so many. And then he lists holidays that are strictly American holidays.
Yeah.
Why go through the effort of saying the whole world loves them and then only name American holidays? I was offended.
Because if they were to show an Asian person, he would have like these slanty eyes and
You're right about that. This is not the movie to try to bring culture into it, because they will
have a rickshaw behind him, and then he
Oh
would
my
be
God.
he'd be voiced by like Bob Hoskins or something, by a British person. He'd just be like, "Oh yeah, you did good this time."
Hello there.
What, governor?
You're right. No, you're right. You're right.
So we meet our protagonist, Reggie, who is the one turkey that understands and pays attention, as opposed to all the other turkeys who are insanely stupid. And then he knows that the turkeys are getting killed and eaten on Thanksgiving.
And yet he's also still stupid, which is interesting. And that's not a bad thing. I just also find him very stupid as a protagonist.
That's interesting because, yeah. So we have every year they don't listen, and then they're all they're like they're all saying farmer's your friend, and then one of the turkeys goes, "He's the best," as he's being carried away to have his head cut off. They
And
show
cooked in
the
an oven.
farmer with the axe carrying them off to their deaths. And that was my one laugh when the one turkey said, "He's the best," as he's going to his death.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Last time I laughed.
It was fine. I was pretty mortified. If I'm going to be honest with you, Dan, I was sad. Because here's the thing: maybe turkeys do feel that way, and then we just chop them up. That's very sad to me.
And here we're going to talk about the whole idea of animated movies and how they want to. There's this new animated movie concept that I don't know when it started. We'd have to look at it, and it's trying to fix the inequities between the natural world and the human world. And all of these movies fail. These movies are horrible always.
Because can you? I don't feel like that's. I think they're putting themselves into like an unwinnable task. You know?
Yeah. Well, you have to bend all of reality to come to a conclusion to this task. And kids aren't stupid. Kids aren't looking for.
Oh, they're stupid, Dan. Kids are dumb. Okay. Just kidding. Okay.
They're not looking for their movie to bend all reality and give them this weird outcome that they weren't even asking for and weren't even worrying about.
So this is my biggest problem with the movie. And what I meant when I said I don't understand the end of the movie. Here's what I thought was going to happen.
Oh,
I thought we were...
You thought something was
do you want to? Should I wait?
No, it's fine. You can. I'm interested in what you thought was going to happen to resolve any of this.
I thought we were going to learn a lesson somehow in which that makes it okay for us to eat turkeys. And I know that sounds crazy. I know that doesn't make any sense to anything that happened in the movie.
No, it doesn't make sense to the movie, but it is a premise for a movie like this that you could make.
Right.
Sure.
Like there has to be a way that, because the way that this movie ends, they're eating pizza. And that's like the thing, which is just totally stupid because that's not real life. You've now changed the present by changing the past, which I understand is their point in the movie, but then we're not in our world anymore. And now and as little as I cared about the movie previously to the end, now it's totally lost because I'm like, oh, well, this is Wacko Land in which I would eat pizza on Thanksgiving. Nope, pass. So I thought there was going to be like some sort of, they learned a lesson like, oh, well, it's all a part of the circle of life. And I don't know how to make it, but it wasn't like this.
Well, because I don't think anyone has successfully navigated a movie like this, right? You know, we had it to some extent with what were those, the Ice Age movies where the dinosaurs, or, you know, whatever you want to call them, prehistoric creatures, have to like take care of human beings when the human beings are then going to kill them. And then the other one I was thinking about, which I don't remember anything about, were the Happy Feet movies, which was about the
Happy Feet
penguins trying to solve global warming, I believe.
Is that, I did not see those movies. Is that what that's about?
I believe there's a whole global warming thing in there.
That's kind of sad because they're definitely going to die off.
Yeah. So whatever. So we set up that he's different. He has no friends. Everyone hates him. And then a helicopter comes. Yep, that's Tony's life. Helicopter comes.
Whoa. Let's back up. What I meant by that, Dan, is that I also disliked him. I didn't mean I resonate because nobody likes me. I'm very popular, okay? People like me.
People used to like,
and nobody in this room.
When Tony was part of the world, people liked him. Now that we're all shut up in our ivory towers, there's nothing there to like.
You're not wrong.
We see the helicopter outside. Did you think it was night?
Was it not?
They walk outside and it's daytime.
No, I think you're wrong.
Daytime, or you think
I don't know.
Well, it seems like it's a night in there because there's no light coming in, and then the helicopter comes and there's light beaming in, and then
which would be the
and then
they're spotlight.
like, and then all the turkeys are like, "Give them Reggie," and this was actually kind of funny. They throw Reggie out because everybody hates Reggie.
Yeah,
and it turns out that it's the president and
of the United States, who I was talking about earlier.
And they are here to do the presidential pardon. And then there's his little daughter who's like 6 years old.
Yeah.
And okay, what do you want to say, Tony?
I just have a question because I am ignorant.
Yeah.
Let me throw that out there.
Very.
Do we pardon turkeys? Is this a real thing?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Every year there's a ceremony, and instead of having a turkey on Thanksgiving, the president pardons a turkey, and that turkey goes to live in an upstate New York farm.
That's fucked up.
Why is that fucked up?
Well, first of all, pardoning. What is he pardoning him from? He's not a criminal.
Well, from his own death.
It's not like the turkey has done something bad and that's why we kill it and eat it. What are we pardoning? Like, hey, you're not getting murdered this year. Yeah. But he still probably is, just not by the president.
Pardoning from its own murder.
That just feels weird. I don't know. I don't like the tradition. Let me just call that out right now. I didn't know it was a thing. I don't like that it's a thing, and I'm against it.
So you think they should kill that turkey and eat it?
I mean, don't make a show of it, but yeah, so you want that dinner.
You want that turkey murdered. Basically, like you're calling for turkey. This. You're calling for the what? You don't like turkey?
I don't like turkey. No, I think it's bland and gross.
Oh, does your mom have to make you your own little private ham?
Well, a little Tony ham, but that's a full ham. That's my personal ham is an 8 to 9 pound ham. Okay, and then I'll just eat it myself. I'm out.
We used to get the ham that came in the tin.
Yes, absolutely.
And then it would have that delicious meat-flavored gelatin.
The jus, yeah, the au jus, but kind of not really. It's
so good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm getting a honey baked ham. Shout out to honey baked ham this year.
Oh, you getting the spiral cut?
Of course, yeah. Because I can't carve a ham, so it needs to be pre-cut for me, so I can just tear it off the bone.
So they take him away in the helicopter. They take him to Camp David, where he gets shown around, and that's where Tony sees the hottest animated woman ever.
Yep, that's correct.
And he's got a TV, which he learns about everything.
Literally everything. Don't just emphasize that a little bit more because he learns everything very quickly.
Now, the little 6-year-old daughter has like narcolepsy.
Yeah, 100%. There's a problem.
Talk about
we don't
talk
deal
about
with it at all.
Why does that child have is that like funny? Is that
I
supposed to be
think
funny?
they
What's the deal?
think it's funny, but
Okay.
it's concerning, is what it is. Because she's just mid conversation, she's like, "I'm tired now," and then goes right to sleep. She has a disease. Is it a disease? Is narcolepsy a disease or a disorder?
It's a disorder, yeah. I think it's
Okay, well, she's got that, and someone needs to take care of her because the dad doesn't give a shit.
No.
I'll tell you that the president's way too busy with his life to care about this daughter who's fallen asleep
Yes.
just here and there and everywhere.
Do you think they have security cameras in the rooms at Camp David?
I would say yes. Yeah, I would bet a lot of money on it.
Do you think they notice a turkey sitting in one of the guest bedrooms watching TV?
Watching TV. I mean, they obviously don't, because that would go viral very quick.
Very quickly. So he watches a show about orphans. He figures out how to order pizza. He watches this whole like extended thing about El Solo Lobo, and then we sort of have this thread about him wanting to be wanting to go it alone in life, even though we don't talk about that through the middle part of the movie, and then we bring it back for a fraction of a second at the very end of the movie.
Which is very confusing, because his whole thing is that he wants a family, or a flock? Is that what they called it?
Yeah.
And so then he switches and is like, never mind, I'm on my own. And then later he's like, no, I want a family again. I'm going to stay with the flock. Doesn't make any sense. This guy, he's all over the board.
So now we get to meet. Then he goes and steals the president's remote because it can do something. I don't remember why he stole the remote.
Because it can do something if you push it.
And then he gets kidnapped by Jake, our second main character, who's part of the Turkey Freedom Front. We're behind schedule. He slaps him. And then we talk about this great turkey that appeared to him and told him what to do and gave him a doorknob. And this is the point at which you realize, since we already know there's a time machine, that this is going to be Reggie coming back to Jake to set up this whole plot line.
Well, obviously, without a doubt. What you don't realize at the time is that it actually won't make any sense. So there's the twist. You think it's going to make sense, and then it doesn't, and you're like, oh, okay. Stupid.
So then they just walk onto this secret base, and then they get into where the time machine is.
Let's. There's a map on the wall, and there's two lines on the map. One of them is blue and leads to the exit.
Oh no, we're not there yet. We're not there.
We're not there yet. I'm sorry.
We're not there yet. They end up in this little shed, and
Oh right, yeah.
And excuse me. And there's a third wall break at this point where someone like looks right at the camera.
Oh yeah, that's Woody Harrelson, right?
Why was there a third wall break?
Well, it's like a joke, because then they cut out and he's talking to his reflection.
Oh, so it was real. So it's not. That's not
because he's I think a stupid turkey. I don't know.
So they trigger the hidden elevator, right? And then that takes them down, and you could follow the blue line of the red line.
Everyone gets down there?
Who knows?
Because the president's got like 100 people with him when he arrives.
Doesn't make any sense. More importantly,
correct.
The Great Turkey didn't tell them how to get down there.
Which is weird, because he would have, because he knew. It's Reggie.
Yeah. But how would he know? You'd think he'd have to give them some information, like give them a doorknob that works, give them the code that works.
Yeah, the doorknob doesn't do anything.
Nope. Actually, the doorknob explains to him later that to make him understand, because he's so stupid, that he has to play that role.
He's so stupid. Yeah.
So we get down there, follow the blue line to exit, follow the red line to get to the time machine.
Yeah, okay. I understand that it's a joke, but it's very stupid, because there's only two lines and there's only 2 points of interest: exit or time machine. I hate it. I was very upset with it. But also, can we just talk a minute about the fact that the United States has a time machine? And that's just kind of glossed over in this movie. That's a big thing.
Well, okay, Tony, it's not a time machine.
Oh, it's not?
It's a do everything in the World Machine.
Oh yeah, Steve can do a lot of stuff. Steve is the name of the time machine.
Oh, you're laughing. You like that?
No, I don't like it. I realized that I threw that out there prematurely because we haven't met Steve yet.
Oh, you're
and
laughing
so
at
people
your
are
own
like,
joke.
"Who's Steve? Who's Steve? Tony? We don't know him." So I just wanted to catch him up.
So they follow the line because it's their destiny. Because Jake is like, it's our destiny, and then they have
It's their destiny because Jake said it's their destiny. Okay, great.
and then we just have all this rigmarole with chases that we don't care about.
Doesn't
then-
matter.
And they basically end up in the time machine. The guy that was in the time machine runs away because there's a 90% chance you'll just die if you use the time machine.
Yeah, okay. Let's not gloss over this joke. This joke here, which is there's a guy who's volunteered for the mission.
Yeah.
He's in the seat.
Yeah.
And then the general is talking to him. He's like, well, good, because there's a 90% chance that you're fucking dead. And the guy hadn't heard that before. They didn't tell the guy the chances. And he's like, wait, what? I got to get out of here. There's no way that that's legal. He would have to know what's happening to him. It's like they're like, hey, you draw straws, and then he just got sentenced to death, and nobody cares. The guys on the outside are just laughing at him. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Tony, if there really was a time machine, and
Great. I already think there is. So continue.
You're 90% chance you're going to die. How many people do you think would be lined up to travel in that time machine?
You got one right here. I'll tell you that.
You take the 1 in 10 chance.
I'll take a 1 in 10 chance, baby. Come on, that's incredible.
And that line would be so incredibly long, and you'd have your person. Oh, yeah. It's like the astronauts. You know, those astronauts, the first ones, they all knew they could die, and we've had
100%.
Astronauts very much die. And they would,
unfortunately,
and every single one of them would say, "I'd do it again in a fraction of a second." They would instantly raise their hands. And so it's just like, what is this joke? It's not a joke about reality.
Nope.
It's a joke.
I mean, there are none of those.
It's an attempt that it's a joke structure to try to make it so this guy will run away from his duty.
Yes. Yep.
And it makes so even a stupid kid is going to look at this and go like, why?
What?
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that poor kid. I feel bad for the kid that watched this movie. The one kid.
Now they play the finale music, right? As it launches. And it's like, it's this stirring finale music. And you're like, you cannot put your finale music
in the beginning of the movie.
Of Act 1. This is Act 1 and you're playing finale music. It's insane. Yeah. You're just like, yes, go. This is not the end. We're going to go someplace. And
we still have an hour left. What's happening?
Time travel looked cool. I think what's his name doing the voice? Is it George Takei?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they do the oh my later in the movie.
He's good.
I mean, it's George. Of course he's good. He's the best.
So they go to 1621, the Plymouth colony. Did the Turkeys decide this?
It didn't seem like anyone decided it, which is, so my question is, because that has to be programmed, right?
No.
So why would...
No, Steve just decides everything.
So that's even more confusing, right? Because so where were the humans going? Where was this guy going to go?
Don't know.
We don't know. We'll never know because they just get thrown in there and then all of a sudden they went to the exact spot. Maybe Steve reads minds? Is that it?
Don't know.
I don't know either. Steve's crazy, man. Tell you that.
Then we do like an exercise thing where we see the turkey's ass.
Wait, what? I don't remember this.
There are a couple things where we literally have this shot of his ass, and it's like, boom, like there are these big turkey ass muscles.
They do it in the time machine when there's the seat. What is? I don't remember what it says, but
the seat changes sizes.
The seat changes so that it squeezes his buttocks, and then that's like, and it's. I don't understand it. Like that's supposed to be the safety. Instead of a seatbelt, it like pulls your ass through it and then squeezes down on it so you can't fucking move. That's the plan. I don't know, man. It's a stupid movie.
They get there. the thing kicks them out and says it has to recharge. It's going to recharge off of sunlight to be able to do space travel, to be able to do time travel in like 6 hours or something. It's some minuscule amount of time.
Yeah, like it's pretty good technology. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And now they're beset by dogs and hunters, and then they're saved by a bunch of turkeys that are observing from the trees because the turkeys are all up in trees and they run around in the trees like
so
I don't know,
squirrels,
like squirrels, yes,
or like some sort of animal that lives in trees. I am confused. So, are they saying that turkeys used to be cooler? Is that the whole point?
No, well, the whole point, actually, one of the whole points of the movie is that these are smart turkeys, and then through stuff they became stupid, and
because they become like farmed animals, so they just become stupid.
They become domesticated. That is one of the movie's big plot premises points.
What do you think that's based on?
I don't know.
Do we have proof that turkeys used to be smarter?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes, Benjamin Franklin wrote about how smart the turkeys were.
I have this turkey companion.
Treaties
brilliant.
Treaties on the turkey and its rampant intelligence. He did want the America's state bird to be the turkey. By the way.
Oh shit! Well, there you go. There's the proof.
Do you want to talk about what the dogs look like, Tony?
I don't know. They don't look like dogs. I'll tell you that. I mean, that's about the extent that I can go to it. It's a weird. I don't know, man. They're ugly as shit.
Now,
I love dogs. Let me just say that.
Do you want to talk about Miles Standish, the guy that hunts the turkeys? What he looks like?
Is he the Waluigi kind of guy?
Yeah, Tony, he's the Waluigi kind of guy, i.e. a guy with a mustache.
Yeah, he's got a big old mustache on his face, and he's skinny. That's the difference. That's how you know it's not Wario.
What does he look like, Tony?
I don't know. What does he look like?
He looks like looks like the evil villain in a cowboy movie. Right?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, like what was the cartoon? Dudley Do-Right. That guy?
Doesn't look like Snidely Whiplash, but he's green. But yeah, I mean, he's got like a kind of a cowboy hat and a big cowboy mustache, and he kind of acts like an evil cowboy. What year is this taking place?
1621, you said.
When do you think cowboys were around?
I'm gonna say later.
It's later. Big win for Tony. Big win for Tony today.
I can't get more specific than that, Dan, but I'm gonna say later.
The turkeys are hiding. So they're running away, and then they're hiding in like this field of tall grass. What does the evil cowboy guy, Miles Standish, do to flush them out?
I don't know. What does he do? I would run at him.
He throws dynamite into the field.
Okay. I don't remember that happening, but that's not the move. Tony, the move is
Tony. When did they discover dynamite? When was that first produced?
Later.
1867.
Did you look that up?
Of course I looked it up. Well, the whole thing is, you know what the Nobel Prize is?
I know that one.
Okay. That guy, Alfred Nobel, he invented dynamite.
And then we gave him a Peace Prize?
Well, since his thing was useful but also destructive, he created this series of awards to award people that do good in the world, because his thing didn't maybe had a completely negative connotation, but it's
not great.
Used it to try to kill turkeys 200 years in the past before he even created it.
First of all, that's incredible. I'm so glad that you did your research. But let me tell you what you should do. Okay?
What should you do?
Now you start on one side of the field. You get your doggies, right? And then you just slowly walk through the field, and eventually you just flush them out, and they start flying. Pow, 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 and then you pop them.
Do you know this from your hunter days, Tony?
Yeah, I've hunted turkey before. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You've hunted turkey?
Yeah.
Have you shot a turkey?
I have never shot a turkey. The only animal I've ever shot is a duck, and it broke my heart.
You killed a duck.
Do you want to, dude? Oh my God! Let's talk. We can talk about it just real quickly. So we went duck hunting. I've been duck, turkey, pheasant, and deer hunting, and I've only shot a duck. Although I almost I shot at my dad one time when we were pheasant hunting. That was very scary. He was not happy with me. But so after I killed the duck, you also have to then skin the duck. And he made me. Oh, what you do? I don't remember exactly how you do it, but you like grab the neck and you grab the feet and you just fucking pull and it comes off. And he made me do that, and I cried so hard that day. It was very traumatic. It's tough. It's a tough day. And he made me skin a deer in the garage one time, and that, oh, dude, I have horrible, horrible memories of these things. But I will say, I like to eat meat, so it's not the killing. I just can't do it. I don't want to be. I don't want to know. I don't want to be there. Just give me the already chopped up animal. I know what happens to it, but like I don't want to do it. People call that hypocritical, but
sensitive Tony. I love him. Okay, let's see.
Have you never been hunting?
Oh shoot, we didn't do Jenny. Well,
who's Jenny?
Okay.
Is Jenny the smoking hot turkey? Okay. I don't remember.
We'll do Jenny in a minute. He meets Jenny, who's a smoking hot turkey. Very attractive. I was impressed that they could make her attractive.
How do you make a turkey attractive? I still don't know, but I was into it.
Yeah, they did a good job. Without hair. Thought that was interesting. Didn't have hair.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about Jenny in a minute. And they escape. They just escape. They just randomly just escape. They're just like, oh yeah, check mark, escape. We're done with this. Escape.
We got to get out of this scene, so let's just go.
Talk about Jenny's weird eye.
So I want to be careful with how I talk about it, even though they're not. Let's be very clear that it's super off-putting and weird. She has ostensibly a lazy eye. Yes, I think we could say.
But it's not really a lazy eye.
But it's not because it fixes itself.
Just falls down.
And so here's my problem with it. Is that
and then if she blows like this, then it pops back into place.
Which doesn't make any sense. I don't know how that would physically happen, Dan.
Would not physically happen.
Here's my problem with the situation is that they use it as just a way to make jokes about a lazy eye. Because she doesn't actually have a lazy eye. She fixes it.
Nope.
But they make fun of it. And then they're like, just kidding. Never mind. She's not fucked up. It essentially is what I feel like they're saying in this movie. So they make a couple of really offensive jokes about having a lazy eye. And then they fix it and never talk about it again.
Yeah. It doesn't affect anything.
That's bullshit.
It doesn't affect anything in the movie. There's not at all. It's not an impediment to her life that she has to overcome to show us that there's something special about her.
It was just a guy in a writer's room.
Instead, what they've come up with is they've come up with a disability that doesn't exist.
100%.
That you can make fun of, because you can't make fun of a real disability anymore. But if you make up a disability that no one can have, then you can make fun. You can spend precious time of your stupid movie making jokes that aren't funny about that thing, which is the most
that thing's expense.
It's the most insane comedy engineering thing I have ever seen. There's nothing more insane. There's nothing more insane.
Weird. It's so weird.
If the jokes were funny, you'd be like, oh, okay, but they're not even funny.
Even if they were funny, I would have a problem with it just because it's a device just for jokes. You know what I mean? No. If it was a trait that they used later to do something or use it, I would allow it. But even if those jokes are funny, which again, they are painfully unfunny, I would have a problem with it because it's just for laughs. They're like, what could, what's funny? What's funny is when someone's eye doesn't work. That's hilarious. We should make fun of that a little bit. And they're like, well, her eye, she has two eyes, right? And he's like, well, one of them's going to only not work in this one scene. It'll be fine for the rest of the movie, but I really want to make fun of someone with a lazy eye right now. I don't know, man. It's super weird to me.
And so they get there. They get to they're going towards the fort, and before they get there, wait, are you rubbing models with Ranger? Takes away. And the two, there's Ranger, who's the head of the New World turkeys, and then there's Jake, our guy, and then they have an alpha male off where they try to alpha male each other to death.
Yep.
What you want to talk about that, Tony?
I wish that I had seen turkeys fight because I just don't. Is the puffing up the
this is the pre-puffing up of the waddle.
Oh, this is just when they're doing like the wings
muscle things. They're doing muscles and they're doing the ass muscles again. This is our big second ass muscle scene.
They love turkey butts. They love those. Well, so that's kind of how like peacocks do it, right? Don't peacocks get really big? That's like their thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do turkeys do that?
I have no idea. Don't care.
I don't know either. And this movie doesn't convince me that they're right. You know what I mean? If the movie was better, I would probably I would buy it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's probably what turkeys do. But at this moment, I don't think that's what turkeys do.
So we get back to the fort and we find out that everybody's starving to death. Miles Standish shows up. He's got 2 birds with him because he got 2 of the turkeys, who are these other birds that look unlike turkeys at all. One of them is this little squat-looking weird guy. And then these guys are supposed to be your Timon and Pumbaa, your sort of secondary comedic relief.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that, but I understand what you're saying.
They're not given any jokes. They're not funny. They're not played by anyone interesting. They don't do anything. They have no bearing on the plot. But in maybe 3 scenes, we see them and they have a little bit of interplay.
Yeah. So that's why when I said I didn't get it, they're not a comedic relief, you know?
Nope.
So but I see what you're saying.
We watched one of those stupid Toy Story movies. And
You're going, no, they're not stupid.
Watched one of those stupid Toy Story movies. And I think they had
the greatest animated films of all time. You know, one of those. I'm sorry, continue.
They had like Keegan-Michael Key and some other guy playing like a couple of stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Every time they went to them, there's like joke.
Because that's what you do.
And in the midst of this very stupid movie, Keegan-Michael Key, and I don't remember who he's playing off of, both very funny. Rest of the movie, kind of garbage.
Oh, Dan, you're the only person I know that doesn't like any of the Toy Stories. I'll just say that.
Oh, the first one's okay.
The first one's great. It's a classic.
There's some terrible stuff in it. I mean,
what's terrible?
Oh, the design of Buzz Lightyear and the design of Woody. They're really unappealing characters. Hideous design. Yeah. You see the toys. You know, like we used to go to the flea market all the time. You'll see the toys there. You just look at them. You're like, just throw that away. It's so ugly. Just throw it away. It's ugly.
You don't want to sell that toy. Just
ugly.
Just throw it in a dumpster heap. All right.
Trash that shit. While we're at the fort, we do a hyperthyroid issue joke.
There's a couple of fat shaming moments in this movie. I don't know if you noticed that.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't remember. I think maybe it was on the tour. One of the ladies. Yeah, the daughter, that stupid narcoleptic daughter, she's either a chef or a maid or something. She's walking by and she's like, "This is Cheryl. She eats her feelings." She's just a plump lady. There's a couple of... Yeah.
And there was no reason for that line.
100%. That's what I'm saying. Like,
not a character we ever see again. We're not going to find out what that means. We're not going to come to live with that person's life.
Just wanted to call somebody fat.
She eats food, so she's stupid. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, asshole.
Yep. So there's just a couple of moments in here that we just, you know.
When I make fun of Tony, it's out of love.
Of course, and accurate. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
Oh yeah. Then they do a whole thing about rubbing waddles with Ranger. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then Jenny talks about how they do stuff so they won't end up being dumb, and that's sort of going through the whole premise that they're not, you know, they're working hard not to be idiots.
Yeah, right.
So now they're in their secret. They have a secret underground hideout. These turkeys live in a secret underground hideout underneath a tree on the top of a thing overlooking the ocean, I guess.
That was all very confusing, but I believe you. That's where it is.
Jake immediately tries to take over and then starts trying to explain the world that he comes from. Nobody reacts. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, time machine, normal concept to think about."
Here's the thing. In 1621, if someone said the words "time machine," would you even know what they're saying?
Nope, no concept,
Okay.
no idea.
Great.
And I mean, I understand we're being nitpicky about all this sort of stuff, but they're saying it. It's like your characters have to live at their emotional intelligence, right? And
Yes.
just the idea that they would think that they could just literally say the word time machine to someone in the past, it just, maybe make a whole thing where they think they're going to be primitive, but they're not primitive. We think they're going to be this, but there's no expectations ever broken. And that's
Correct.
the whole problem.
Yeah.
But they do time machine and they do all this weird stuff. Like they don't even know what a machine is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I understand you. I don't find it nitpicky. Let me just say that because the problem, Dan, is that they are the one positing this hypothesis. They're saying, yeah, I could say this you know what I mean? So like, it's your fault. You're doing it. That's not me being nitpicky, but that's just me calling you on your bullshit.
And at one point when they go out into space and Jenny's looking down on the Earth, she just back then.
Your mind would blow.
You would freak out. Maybe not in a negative way, but just like you would just be like, what?
You'd have a very strong emotional response.
And these people do not have emotional responses to people. Like in a real movie, when someone comes from the future, you look at them and you're like, weirdo, danger, this. But in this thing, they're just like, oh yeah, these are the guys from the future.
Cool. Come on in, bud. Yeah.
We meet the Chief Broadback. We meet Leatherbeak, who's the sort of shaman-y type. We did not always live underground. Our destiny. We go and see that they're raising their children down under here. We don't fight. We just defend and survive. And then they all hold the babies and everyone is happy. And they know they've done the right thing coming into the past to try and save the turkeys.
Is this where we meet the chief's son?
A little weird guy?
Yeah, the little weirdo.
I think he's not the chief's son. I think he's Leatherbeak's son.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
He has two jokes.
Because the chief then says you had to marry a chicken.
Oh, yeah.
So now I just had a quick, because I wrote that down because that feels egregious to me.
What, the turkey is having sex with a chicken?
I mean, that alone is pretty weird. But then it sounds like they're telling me that he has some sort of disability because of like the two different races. I don't understand what's happening.
Hold on a second, right?
Okay, yeah.
Later on in the movie, right at how do we have 3.5 pages left of this movie?
This is my fault.
No, 2.5 pages. I'm sorry. Then there's at the very end of the movie, Jake comes and he's holding a chicken and a duck. They are not intelligent.
Oh, so hold that thought, Dan, because you're absolutely right. And that is important to now, but it's also that end scene we need to talk about separately because it causes a whole bunch of problems for me. But you're right. So that's what are they saying here? They're saying that chickens are, not smart, we'll say. But then, so did he take advantage of a chicken? You know what I mean? Like, because it's a lesser being, you can't do that. That's not okay on any level. This is fucked up.
So
that's what I'm gonna say. That's messed up, dude.
Okay.
But hold on,
yeah.
the only reason the reason I brought it up is because then the turkey, that chicken turkey, meows the whole time. That's like his thing. He meows.
Does he really? I don't know.
Where does that come from? That's not chicken. That's not turkey. That's a cat. Why is he meowing? Has he ever met a cat? I don't even know. This is stupid.
So the bad guy's back at the fort. He's got a map, and he's like looking at the map, and he's like, these turkeys are trying to draw us away from somewhere. So we'll start looking for them where they're not supposed to be or something. And then this is not a plan that actually does anything.
Well, no, but don't you find it weird that the humans put so much credit to the turkeys without thinking about it? They're like, these turkeys have a plan. It's right there. I'd be like, whoa, hold up. What do you mean the turkeys have a plan? The fuck are you talking about, guy? But they take that in stride. They're just like, yeah, these turkeys they're forming. So bizarre. Everything is so weird in this movie.
So the big chief divvies up the tasks for everybody the next day, and he sends Jake and Reggie off. Jake and Ranger off together, and then Reggie gets to go with the girl Jenny. And what do you remember? What Jenny and Reggie are supposed to do?
Nope.
They're supposed to keep an eye on Standish, or maybe they were supposed to lead him away. One or the other.
Okay.
They're either supposed to keep an eye on him or lead him away. Don't remember which. I wrote both things right after each other, so now I don't know. Maybe the other.
It's hard to be sure.
Maybe the other turkeys are supposed to lead him away. Whatever.
Oh yeah, sure.
Reggie goes. Then they're going out there. Reggie accidentally almost springs a bunch of traps, but somehow he avoids getting killed by all of them.
So stupid.
So stupid. And then Jenny's like, "Tell me about the future." Whatever.
Which you can't do, by the way. That's the rules of time travel. You're not supposed to tell them about the future, I'm pretty sure.
Can't give her the lottery numbers. Then Jake and Ranger try to outdo each other. And then I wrote in parentheses, well, Tony? I don't know what that means. Why did I write that?
I don't know either, but let me ask you a question. Is this where they ballroom dance fight?
Is that what happens? I don't remember. I really think I might have played a game of Marvel Snap during this whole part.
Just one? Because I actually did a bunch during this movie. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I got my gold status finally last night. Took me way too long this
gold
season.
Status. What's gold status?
Just I reached gold level in Marvel Snap.
Level?
It's levels 40 plus, 50 plus, 40 plus.
I've been trying to get to 50. Oh, it's driving me crazy.
I think 50's platinum, and I think 40's gold. 30 silver, 20 bronze, 10 nothing. I think I'm right.
Yeah, 40 gold, 50 platinum. I have worked so hard to try to get to platinum.
I have never made it to platinum, but that's my goal by the end of this season.
Oh, yeah, it's hard.
But I'm on 42 right now, so I just got gold last night, and I was feeling pretty good about it during this movie. So at some point, one of their fights, quote unquote,
I think it's this
is
one.
they start fighting,
Yeah.
and then immediately it turns into ballroom dancing. The fuck is happening right now? I mean, it's literally ballroom dance. It's not like, oh, it looks like they're dancing, little tango, little ballroom, and they're doing these twists, and the music starts, and then at the end of it, he's like, oh, you like that? Never took a lesson. Where would you take a lesson? What turkey is teaching ballroom dancing? What are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. I lost my mind, and I don't know if this is when this happened or if it happened later or before or later. I don't know. But there's a moment where the dead fight turns into ballroom dancing, and I wanted to punch someone in the face.
I guess that's why I wrote "Well, Tony," because I knew you had a reaction to this scene.
I don't know. I do think this is the scene that happens. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So Jenny and Reggie are being chased by the dogs, and so they go and hide in Dave. We do the lazy eye bit. Dave launches up to the thing, and they go back to Earth. Oh no. Let's get out like nothing. Okay, no, they launch up and then they just come back down and then they just get out like nothing happened.
Yep.
And then they don't do anything. They don't ever perform their task that they're supposed to do for the day.
That's correct. I don't think anybody performs their tasks.
Let's see. Jake and Ranger assault the fort. They attack the fort? I don't remember this scene.
I don't remember that either. I'm sure they do, though. They're
Yeah.
very stupid.
Reggie and Jenny abandon their duty and just go wandering off talking about life for an unknowable reason, even though there's, danger at every turn.
Well, they're falling in love, Dan.
Why
Okay,
is
you
she-
can't do your duty while you're falling in love.
Why does she fall in love with him, Tony?
Because he's from the future.
Well,
How about that?
She was pretty much in love with him the minute she met him.
Yeah, no, I don't just because do they have blue heads back here too, or is he still the only blue head? Purple head. What color?
Purple, I believe. There weren't any other. He was the only purple head back here that I remember.
So maybe that's it. Maybe she just likes his head.
Oh, it's racism. Tony's voting
that's
for.
right.
Tony's got his hand up for racism.
if I had to throw out a guess, I would assume it's racism in this movie.
So now Jake goes and grabs Reggie, and he's gonna use to help him with the attack. And then we get Jake's backstory. He was in a factory farm. He was able to sneak out, and he tried to escape with some eggs. He failed. And then the Great Turkey showed up and said, "Don't give up. Go find a time machine." And gave him all this information, which he doesn't really give him. He just says, "Go about."
I mean,
what you're
not in
doing."
the scene that we saw. No.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know how long turkeys live, but he's a child here.
Yeah.
So he's been on this mission for a long time.
Oh, turkeys probably don't live more than 4 or 5 years. I bet.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
would
there
guess. I don't know. I'd
you
look
go. So
that
a
up.
couple weeks. He's been on a couple weeks.
Who knows? So then Reggie and Jake break into the fort. They get chased by dogs. There's a big chase. I wrote big chase. And then Reggie pulls out the remote and uses it as a laser pointer to control the dogs.
Now, Dan,
Where did he have that?
in his pocket.
Up his ass? And
Yeah, I don't know. In his turkey pocket.
he doesn't have clothes, right?
No, he doesn't have clothes. No, for sure not. My question, that's a great question. I don't have the answer to yours,
Okay, you're gonna.
but maybe you could give me the answer to mine. Is
Yeah.
that what kind of remote has a laser pointer on it?
None.
Okay, great.
But they did establish that it had a laser pointer because he almost blinds someone earlier in the movie.
I know. I mean, I remember that. I just don't understand what's happening.
Yeah. Well, my dad's a laser engineer.
Hold, is this true?
This is true.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So we had-
continue. I'm
we had-
intrigued.
We had lasers growing up, and
Great.
all kinds of different lasers do all sorts of different things. But there's a lot of lasers that'll burn your eye out. And
Oh, for sure.
and I mean, I don't think any remotes work with lasers anymore at all because
Did they before?
I think there might have been some at some point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, obviously not at the time
But-
that this movie was
Yeah.
made.
Actually, they probably weren't. You know why you don't use a laser?
No. Why?
Because the key to a laser is that it is very straight and makes like that point, right?
Sure. Yeah,
It
you
doesn't-
would have to be very intentional with where you are.
You want a diffuse signal going out there
Yeah.
to be picked up. You do not want a specific single point. So
That's a bad remote.
that
Don't they
remote-
use like IR? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it's infrared. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm sure it's just a thing that goes, out in a
Yeah,
really nice.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, that's what Tony thought.
But however, so this was actually my laugh of the movie is when Woody Harrelson is chasing it with the dogs.
Yeah.
And shoot, I don't think I wrote down what he said, but basically he's like, I cannot catch this dot. It's incredible. That made me laugh very hard.
That was
Whatever
a,
it is
that
he
was,
said, it was
that
very
was
funny.
a funny joke. I wasn't paying that much attention because
It's fair. It's totally fair. At this, it's hard to still be checked into this movie at this point, so I get it.
So they set fire to the place, and then Jake does Indiana Jones for the powder horn with a piece of corn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then later Standish is like using the corn like it's a powder horn, and they're all like, "You're holding a piece of corn," and that was supposed to be a joke. And no one laughs.
It made me laugh when you just said it. You're holding a piece of corn.
So they go back to the thing, and then, of course, we see at a certain point that he's left the powder horn open, or accidentally the powder horn's been opened, and it has left a trail which leads right to their secret hideout.
Yep.
And then Standish lights the thing, and it goes whoosh, and then he's going to follow it and know right where they are.
Yes.
And it's going to be the fault of these two idiots, right?
Yeah, the two dumb turkeys.
So the two dumb turkeys have done something stupid. And then we're going to feel those repercussions shake the foundations, and all relationships are going to fracture, and then they're going to have to figure out a way to make it work again, right? That's what's supposed to happen in the
third act
movie.
of this movie really turns it around, huh, Dan?
Yeah, it does. Jenny is sad because Reggie's just going to flee for some reason.
Yeah,
There's no reason for him to flee.
No.
No,
he just says it.
He's like, come with me. And then somebody sees the powder come in there, and they're like, they led you right to us, Jake. Jake did this. And then the hunters are there. They're like literally there.
Real fast.
This thing burned off, and then they've traveled the distance in.
I mean, they were just sprinting as it was going. They were
seconds.
like, "Oh, okay, we're right by it."
And then I don't know, it's one of them. It's either Reggie or Jake has to apologize, and he's like, "I'm sorry." Maybe Reggie apologizes to Jenny. "I'm sorry." And then what does Jenny say? It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Doesn't matter.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Not mad at you.
We're all good. Let's go kiss behind this rock shed. Let's go. What?
I got no words for this stupid movie.
I know.
Like, it's like, if you're gonna do the formula, just do the formula. It's fine. You know, that's why they made the formula.
What if I can improve the formula?
By making somebody fuck up and then no one caring that everyone's going to die?
Exactly. Well, because you don't want to deal with all that nonsense. You know, like, I just want to move the plot along. So don't worry. We're A to B to C. They're here. Let's move on.
There's a fire. The bad guys grab a bunch of the turkeys. And then the rest of them escape into the tide pools, and Jake saves the kids.
This is where the dad dies, right?
The dad dies. The dogs are running wild. But I wrote the comic relief pair of balls. Balls? There's like a pair of balls joke in there somewhere.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, I do feel like I remember that.
Okay.
Shit.
And they, so the dad dies, and they just escaped, and then Jenny gets out there, and how much does Jenny cry about her dad dying?
I mean, zero. She doesn't even, does she even acknowledge it? I mean, when it happens, she says, "Dad."
And when she's out, she kind of like says like a line, and then you're like, I mean, maybe she could be crying, or there could be a tear in her eyes, but she's not mad at anyone. Her dad just died. Her dad just died in a fire, also based on Jake and Reggie being idiots.
Yeah. So
dead.
But also in her defense, the dad also very easily could have escaped and clearly wanted to die himself because he just let it happen. He was holding the thing. It's collapsing, right? This cave thing is collapsing. So he's holding it. Everyone gets through. The dogs are coming. So to stop the dogs, you want that to collapse, right?
Yeah.
But instead, he's just still holding it. And I was just like, bro, just let it go. Just drop the stuff and run. You're fine.
Drop and roll.
But no, he just holds on to it and then he dies in the thing. It doesn't make any sense. He wanted to get out of the movie just as much as I did.
And he got to die. Then we have the big death ceremony where we have these feathers on the ground, and then everybody blows on them or something.
I don't
They spin up and shoot out of the tree. I don't know what this is. Maybe this is...
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've never seen a turkey do it. I'll tell you that right now. This movie
So
is bizarre.
Reggie goes to the egg and he says, "Oh no, wait, hold on. Okay, we do that. Then we have the half shell ceremony."
Oh yeah, hey, I didn't understand this. Did I miss something earlier?
No, you mean did they set any of this up? No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, because when it started happening, I didn't understand what we were doing.
We're picking a new chief. The way we pick a new chief is that half of a shell is in a box, and then if it matches one of his kids' shells, then that kid becomes the chief. And
Did you know she was wearing a shell before?
Wasn't paying any attention to that.
I wish I should have rewound it. I don't think she was wearing the shell the whole time.
She probably
I'm
was.
just gonna call it out right now.
And it turns out that he wants his daughter to take control of the tribe.
I love it. Great.
You love it?
And everyone's like, what? 1621, equal rights, baby.
Yeah, this will be right here. Beginning of equal rights in this stupid movie. Then so Reggie takes the egg. He goes back home. It's all a lie. Then he meets himself 3 times, 4 times, and then they're all idiots. They're calling each other idiots, and then they're explaining what the plot of the movie is, where he has to go and do the plot of the movie because he has to come from the future to explain to himself to do the plot of the movie.
Now, Dan, this is where I got confused.
Sure, okay.
Okay, so
yeah,
he goes back to the present.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then there's another one of him already in his house.
Sure.
I'm asking.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So then, okay. So, but that guy's telling him to go back to the flock in 1621.
Well, he's saying that you have to go set up the Great Turkey thing so that you
right.
get to the time machine
go
and
back,
then
tell Jake, and then go to the flock and save them.
Yeah. Yep.
Where is he from?
He's from the future. So
where in the future? I don't understand.
He goes to the future. Then before he would have done all those things, he would have gone into the past to tell himself not to be stupid. Right?
What?
Well, okay. Let's see. So when you're about to pick this movie, I would have got right now after we've done most of this show, I'd have been like, okay, This is going terribly. So I'll get in my time machine and then I'll go in the past and I'll be Tony. Don't do this. But then where does that guy go? Because then I can't exist.
That's my question, Dan. Where? So if then there's three of them that are from the future, all of which had to have chosen not to go back to save them in their timeline.
See, then what I do is I go.
I've got the answer. Yes.
I go and I can't say what I was going to say. It's too terrible.
It could not be too terrible. I need to hear it, Dan. Come on. Tell me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Dan? What are you going to do?
This is so terrible.
It's fine. Nobody watches this show anyhow.
Just so terrible. This is so terrible. I would not do this, but it's a funny thing to think about what you could do.
The fact that you're putting this big of a caveat on it makes me so excited to hear what's about to happen.
I go into the past and I groom 14-year-old Jessica.
No, we're gonna get canceled for sure.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't do those kind of things if you have a time machine. You should go back and kill Hitler.
Listen, everybody. If you have a time machine, don't do it. Okay.
That's why time machines don't. Come on, give me a break.
That's why we won't make them, because they're too dangerous for things like that.
Okay. So then.
Oh, Dan Goodsell.
So back at the reality, so Reggie's gonna go fix everything. Ranger and Jake are just like cool. We're like, I accept you, even though you made everybody You made my dad die. Because that's Raging Stranger's dad too, right?
I want to say because they both did the
shell thing.
The shell thing, yeah.
Whatever. And then we go through the whole doorknobs. We do the doorknob scene again.
Which doesn't make any sense.
From the other side, because we have to do the other side. Even though we don't really do the other side, we just do it again where we know what the other side is.
What is happening,
which is really correct. Weird. It's like usually you do the other side and then you learn something different, but no, we just do the other side. We do...
this will be the only time in my life that I compliment this movie, but at least Tenet does that. It shows you the other side and you're like, oh shit, I'm learning new information this time. It's terrible information.
It shows you the other side just to be completist.
Well,
that's why Tenet, like when you see the slow backwards fight again, you're just like, this is the same slow backwards fight. We already knew. I don't need to see this. We already knew it was somebody we knew in that fight. I don't care. So
yeah, you're right about that.
So the Native Americans are coming. They make an Angry Birds joke, which you're like, woo, topical.
But how? There's a couple of weird things.
Those are some Angry Birds.
Yeah, it's good, guys. Good.
Let's talk about the donkey in the room. Accents.
Yeah. Period. Accurate, I would say.
They sort of, in a couple of the turkeys, the Native American turkeys, they sort of give them Native American accents. And then some of them, they're just like, no, just be a person. Be a weirdo. Yeah, so be this, be that. I don't know.
I'm let's be clear. If you're an audio listener, Dan and I are very white.
very, very, like
translucent.
Like China white. Like if you put us next to cocaine, same color.
Yeah, you chop us right up, snort it. So I found it weird myself.
Do you think anybody ever thought we weren't white?
No one would ever make that mistake.
But for clarity's sake.
I just want to be extra sure that everybody knows that I'm an ignorant idiot. And I just, because I don't want to say anything too wrong. But personally, I felt weird that some of them were Native Americans.
Mm-hmm. Then it gets weird.
Yeah.
When you have the paint and you have they're all dressed like that. Why are we wearing, Jenny who never wears any paint when Jenny decides to go to war.
Right. And then,
with the humans.
Which is almost worse to me because then she's like, war paint? I just thought it was just very weird of a choice for me. And I guess maybe it's less weird if you do all of them, right? As opposed to like some of them. It's a weird choice. I don't think they did a good job. I don't know, you guys, but it seemed very strange.
So the turkeys have all formed spears. And then back at the fort, what are they getting out to defend themselves, Tony?
Well, now that you've said it, I would just get the dynamite out.
No, they get out cannons.
Is that what happens? I don't remember that.
You don't remember them saying, "Get out the cannons," and then somehow, even though the turkeys have blown up the gunpowder supply, I guess they still
have some.
They still have plenty of gunpowder. Tons of gunpowder.
Cool. You always want to have reserves.
Cannons.
Now, when were cannons invented?
Cannons have been around a long time.
Okay, so that's probably okay.
Yeah, it's okay to have cannons. So they have cannons. They shoot the cannons just in time for Reggie to come back in Steve and just make all the cannonballs not hit things.
Oh, no, I do remember this. You're absolutely right. Because he comes in the sky and then somehow, I don't even know what they do, but they freeze.
They just freeze and fall to the ground. Because
this doesn't make any sense because that has nothing to do with time travel.
Or space travel, yeah.
No, or space travel.
That's what the space shuttle does. Space shuttle does all that. It also teaches you everything. It flies over everyone. It teaches love and peace, and it sprinkles flowers out of its butthole.
LNP, baby, out of his butthole. Jeez. Why would you need cannons to fight turkeys? I'm still processing that right now.
You mean humans with a stick would probably be children with a stick? Even Tony's as a child with a stick could defeat the turkeys, couldn't you, Tony?
I wouldn't want to hit a turkey with a stick. I would feel so guilty. But if, let's say it's a life and death situation,
hold on a second,
because
Tony.
yeah.
Were you afraid for your life when you were murdering that duck?
I wasn't. And that's the problem, is I was in the position of power, and it was a poor, helpless, adorable quacker, and I ended its life. And it was very sad. But that's what I'm saying, is that these people, their life isn't threatened. You know,
Nope.
They're turkeys.
What's a turkey with a pointy stick going to do to you? Oh,
Literally nothing. I wouldn't even need a weapon. I would just give me a boot, and I could take out the turkey. If I wanted to, I don't. I don't know. This movie's weird. Yeah. So he comes in a spaceship, and he freezes all this stuff, and then he neutralizes the whole field.
And he picks up Miles Standish and throws him off into the maelstrom for some reason.
Yeah.
And then he steps out, and he's got a pizza, and he gives them pizza. And then a little dude steps out, and he has a pile of pizzas, a total of like 6 pizzas.
And where are those pizzas from?
Some of them are from Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese!
Just some of them.
I love Chuck E. Cheese.
Not all of them, just some of them. And
then you want to get a good mix of pizzas.
So then they have Thanksgiving, and everyone has pizza instead of turkey.
From now on, they're back in the present day, and they're eating pizza.
Well, then we do a whole montage. Yeah.
But that you can't do that, Dan.
Why?
Because we don't eat pizza.
No.
If anything, this movie should have been about chickens, and then they're the ones that you eat for Thanksgiving, and then at the end they switched it to turkeys, and then they cut back and like, oh, that's why we do turkeys, because chickens changed the past. But nope, it's pizza. It doesn't make any sense.
And more importantly, what is he going to come back in a time machine and give them all pizza all the time? They're just going to...
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You brought like a pile of pizzas. They don't have the ability to make pizzas. They don't have tomatoes.
Yeah, these dumb-dumbs don't know how to make pizza. Also, pizza from Italy, not from America. So now, are you telling me that now pizza is from America instead of Italy? Did you change that?
I wonder when they invented pizza. That's a good question, Tony.
1621.
Maybe so.
Look it up.
So, yeah, now Thanksgiving is for pizza. Jake's like, I'm taking the ship. And you're like, where are you going, Jake? And I was like, he's going to try to find a sequel for this piece of shit movie. Reggie kisses Jenny, and that's the end of the movie, except there's a bonus scene. In the bonus scene...
Wait, before we get to the bonus scene, we get to it, just real quickly, don't you think that the American government would be looking for this spaceship?
Let's build another one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we're just going to let that one on the loose forever because whatever. Someone can't do too much damage with a time machine that can do magic.
You know what? I just wrote the name of the second movie.
Oh, what is it?
Freebirds 2, Turkeys in Time.
Turkeys in Time.
There
I like it. I'm sold. I'll watch the shit out of it.
So the bonus scene, Jake returns, and then he's like, oh my God, have you heard about the turducken? And then he holds out a duck and a chicken, which are both not intelligent.
Yeah. So, turducken, right?
Yeah.
Explain to me what it is.
What a turducken is? You take a turkey and then you stick a chicken in it and then you stick a duck in it.
Full stop. Who's eating turkeys? I thought we stopped them eating from turkeys. Isn't that what we did? I thought that was the whole point of this movie is we don't eat turkeys anymore. What the fuck just happened? So then you're bonusing. The first thing you do is like, well, they're still eating turkeys. So we didn't win the war at all. We didn't do jack shit in this entire film. And now not only are they eating turkeys, now they're eating 3 birds. 3 birds at once. We better go back in time again. Idiots.
And then we have a whole montage of images during the credits of like turkeys being part of society. The Statue of Liberty is a turkey.
But you still eat them? I don't think you can do that, Dan.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. When I try to eat people, even when I combine it with other meats, I get in trouble.
This movie's stupid.
So dumb.
No kid likes
really
this
dumb.
movie. No kid will grow up and think back on this movie and say, that was the movie I loved as a kid.
No, they will not.
Kid.
Now, this was a swing and a miss. I apologize to you, Dan, and all 8 of the people that'll probably watch this throughout time. I apologize.
Not mad at you, Tony.
Thank you.
You tried.
I appreciate it.
You tried.
I did my best.
Now's the part of the show where we talk about something we liked because this movie is so terrible. I'm talking about 2 things because I don't care anymore.
Dan Goodsell coming in strong.
We watched Barbarian.
Yeah. What a wild movie.
You watched Barbarian?
Yes, sir. We watched it for a Halloween month.
Anyone that hasn't seen this movie, do not find out anything about this movie. Just go in there and watch it.
Correct.
It's freaking great.
And that third act, you don't see it coming.
Don't see anything coming. You're just like, I don't know what's going on with this movie. There's like, you're like, where am I? They do some horror movie stuff where people do things where you're like, should you really be doing that?
Of course.
But that's a horror movie, and people, they're almost motivated to do the things, but they're a little stretch.
And I love horror tropes, so if you use them, I'm okay with it. I just want to say that right now.
Tony's okay with the person doing the thing that that one commercial's like, don't hide in the shed with all the chainsaws.
Let's get in the car. No. Let's not get in the car. Let's go. Yeah, that's funny. It's a good commercial. Whoever wrote that, well done.
It's a great commercial, and they keep running it, and it never gets old. It's a great commercial. And then we watched The Wonder with Florence Pugh last night. About, well, I'm not going to say anything about it. Takes place in old-timey England / Ireland, and Florence Pugh.
Pretty good.
She's like the best, I mean, maybe
pretty good.
She's one of the top 10 actors working in movies today.
And did you see what's the Chris Pine movie? Honey, I'm Home with her. She's in it. Harry Styles.
Did you see that movie?
Olivia Wilde. No, I didn't see it. I can't even remember the name of it. I was just wondering if you saw it, but obviously not.
No,
Disregard. I'm sorry. That was a waste of time on the podcast.
Good job, Tony. Waste of time. Well, why don't you tell us what you like? Because that's certainly going to be a waste of time.
There's so many things to pick from this week.
Wow.
But I'm going to pick. I'm just going to pick
2
one.
If you want.
I'll pick 2. First of all, it's World Cup time.
It is World Cup time.
Today was the first game. Not when you hear this. The United States are probably already out of it by the time you hear this. But first game was this morning. Very fun. I'm excited. Peacock's airing the whole thing, but in Spanish. So that'll be interesting. I already don't understand soccer, football, and now it's in a language that I don't know. So I won't understand what's happening in the games other than the score. But I'm very excited.
I think it's not just on Peacock in Spanish.
On Peacock, I think it is, but there are on Fox. I think Fox Sports has the English broadcast, but I don't have TV. So, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be different. I don't know. So that's one. So
you're picking a thing that hasn't even happened. You haven't even seen.
No. It's the first game was this morning.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched it. Oh. Yeah, I watched it while I was working this morning.
Why are we watching stupid football? We could be watching soccer. That's really weird.
There was only one game today, and then there's 3 games tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So the games are already over for today. The opening ceremony this morning as well. It was great. It's fun.
Okay, what do you got first?
But the big one, Dan.
What's the big one?
The big one. Game changer. This is what we've been waiting for 20 years. Freddie Prinze Jr. has come back to the rom-com genre with Christmas with You, streaming on Netflix, and that movie is mediocre to fine, and I loved it. I love him so much. We watched that movie.
I'm almost gonna pull a what's that called when you change your play in the middle of the play? Call an audible.
It's called an audible.
Change it to that movie and make me watch that movie, but I don't want to see that movie, so I'm not going to.
Well, listen, it's great. It was, I mean, it's not great, but he's great. I love him. I'm just so happy he's back, and I had a great time with it. It's like, Hallmark level Christmas movie. So just don't get too excited.
That's about where you should be. That makes sense.
Yeah. Wow, whoa. I mean, I don't know about that, but it's good. It's good. It's worth it. It's cute.
So next week we're gonna watch another movie, and I was racking my brain. I was like, man, I wanted to pick that Tom Cruise Oblivion movie, but then I read some stuff and it didn't seem terrible enough. So I'm like, I'm not gonna pick that one.
Is that Morgan Freeman?
I think so, yeah.
I think so too.
I might pick that one later anyways, just so we can watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Then there was a Kevin James movie I was looking at, and I'm like, we're gonna do that one for sure at some point.
I mean, listen, low hanging fruit, Kevin James. So.
And then I thought to myself, let's do a movie that neither of us would intentionally watch, which may or may not be bad.
Oh, okay.
Could be good. It has good people in it. Let's pick a movie that has good people in it.
Great.
But has some stuff swirling around it. A swirly-whirly movie that we've been in the media. It's a movie that Tony doesn't even know the name of. And it stars Florence Pugh, and it stars Chris Pine, and it stars
so you were faking it when you didn't know the name of it? You son of a bitch. You sandbagging son of a bitch. I love it.
We're going to watch Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling. That's the name of the movie I was trying to think of earlier, guys. That's so funny.
I was telling Shannon, I was like, Don't Worry, Baby. And she's like, it's called Don't Worry, Darling.
Darling.
I meant to look
up
on Rotten Tomatoes to make sure it's truly terrible. It might not be truly terrible, might be okay, but
it looked pretty bad.
We're gonna watch it and give you
I'm excited.
Our explanation as to what this movie means to us.
I don't think I'm gonna understand it at all,
because it was definitely not a movie that I would have turned on, but.
Nope.
It's a movie that I want to know. It's like one of those things, I want to know. It's like, and you never know. It could be like Twilight, where I was like, this movie's going to be terrible. And then you watch it and you're just like, oh, my genius.
Okay. I just want to quote with you saying Twilight. Oh, genius. Just fucking
it's a great movie. It's a fun movie.
It's not a great movie. This also won't be a great movie, but I'm excited. Because I am interested, but I obviously wasn't motivated enough to watch it, and I was too busy watching Freddie Prinze Jr. crush it. so I'm excited.
So we're gonna do a Florence Pugh movie and see how she does. I'm sure she's
probably pretty good. She's probably. I'm just gonna call it now. She's probably not the problem.
I'm gonna make this call. I have the feeling Harry Styles is going to be one of the worst actors we've ever seen.
He might be a problem. Yeah, he might be a problem.
I'm hoping he's a terrible actor and it's hilariously bad.
I mean, did you not see him in that Marvel movie? He was terrible. For the 8 seconds he's on screen, I was like, who the fuck is this?
He was Star Fox. Oh, God, he was
in Eternals.
Bad. Oh, God, he was so bad.
Awful. It was inhuman. So I'm pretty excited about this.
At the end of Eternals, he couldn't pull off 8 seconds on screen.
He gets 3 lines maybe, and it was the least charismatic thing I've ever seen in my life. So it'll be pretty good.
In Eternals. You're lower charisma than everybody else in Eternals.
Yeah. That was a tough movie to get through.
That was a bad one. So we'll be back next week with a little Don't Worry, Darling. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, or subscribe. That's always the thing you can do. You can subscribe. And please don't tell anyone to cancel us, because we don't want to be canceled.
Or tell them, and then we'll get some buzz growing. People are like, we better check out these guys that need to be canceled, and maybe we should be. I don't know the answer, but spread the good/bad word, guys.
Tell BuzzFeed. Is that still a thing? BuzzFeed.
I think I just watched some Love Is Blind GIFs on BuzzFeed, so it's still there.
Go BuzzFeed. And maybe we'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody!
Hey, watch him!